some of you may know my story, some of you don't, and I'm going to tell you why I'm here and why this work matters to me. Over 20 years ago, I had thyroid cancer, malignant tumor in the thyroid gland. They took that thyroid gland out, and it had spread to many lymph nodes in my neck. So they had to remove a substantial amount of lymph nodes in my neck, and then they sewed me up. And I went through chemotherapy. And guess how many people told me about working with the lymphatic system after my procedure? A big fat zero. Nobody. And listen, I was a chiropractor then. I've been a chiropractor for almost 30 years, and even I didn't think to look at the lymphatic system because I'm all about the nervous system, all about the musculoskeletal system. Dirty little secret, no system in the body ever works alone, never gets injured alone, never heals alone. There's no such thing as an isolated injury. There's no such thing as isolated healing. It's all or nothing. The body's one piece. That's it. Okay? So I went back to my normal things, and then thinking everything was great. And then 10 years later, my body started to fall apart. I got infections and inflammation everywhere. I had autoimmune diseases that nobody could give me a name for. Hello, does that sound familiar for a lot of people? And I had to go through antibiotics and medications and 3 surgeries because of infections, which led to a systemic full-body candida infection that damn near killed me. And not once did anybody mention lymphatics, or I look at the lymphatic system. Now that I know this, and I want you to write this down, you have 700 lymph nodes, which are mini body toilets that flush out muck. Muck is everything that's stuck inside of you that shouldn't be stuck inside of you. If it's stuck inside of you and can't get out, you're going to get sick, period. You're going to get inflammation, period. Those are mini toilets. 1/3 of the 700, 1/3 of the 700 is in your neck. So they took out a substantial amount of my lymphatic system here in the neck, and now we know through the years that that's how the brain drains its metabolic toxic waste. What happens if it can't get out? It stays up here, and then I ended up getting neuroinflammation, brain fog. I actually had to stop teaching. I had to stop practicing. I was sleeping 15 hours a day. I couldn't spend time with my children. I couldn't even remember their names at times. And I knew I was in trouble when one time I went to mail a package off to one of my members on my membership site. I got back in my car and I realized I can't find my keys. I went back to the post office. I couldn't find them there. I was walking to my car and I realized that the keys were in the ignition and the car was running. But I had no sensory awareness that I was sitting in a running car, and I started to break down. My breaking moment was about 2 months later when I was pushing my way through a workshop that I could barely stand for. And on the way home, I contemplated just ending it all. Killing myself. Multiple times I said, it's really easy to turn this wheel just a little bit that way, and there's a pole. And I don't have to suffer so much. So I made a call to a suicide hotline on my drive home. I talked to them for about 10 minutes. I hung up the phone. I pulled into my driveway. 15 minutes later, 2 cop cars show up and knock on my front door. That's when my wife and 2 sons, who were small at the time, realized that's how bad I was. And I had to make a decision. Enough of this crap. I got to figure this stuff out on my own, which means I have to start thinking differently. I have to start to look at things that other people are not looking at. And guess what it was? The lymphatic system. When I started to do the work I'm going to show you, within 3 sessions, I felt 50% better. Within 3 months, I was about 90% better. Now I'm better than I ever was, and I'm going to be 58 years old. Hashtag beast mode monster is what that is, okay? You can come back from the abyss. You can come back from the quicksand when you start doing this work. I don't know how much I'm going to bring you back, but I know this much. I've been doing this long enough. If your lymphatic system an issue and you are not working on it, you are not going to get better, period. It's physiologically impossible. And I'll stand by that until I'm dead, because I see it every single day. So I just want you to be aware of the power of the lymphatic system. And this is where it's going to go different, because there's many different ways to work the lymphatic system. Mine is different than most. Every lymphatic technique works, but which one you choose to do depends on the person that you're working with and the results that you're trying to get. They are all good. Mine is different, okay? But you use the one that works best for you or the best for your client. So I want you to learn many different techniques and choose the one that your client needs, all right? With that, let's rock and roll this stuff.